Hello, everyone. Welcome to my web university, my YouTube channel, where online education is made easier. All you have to do is just visit the website or the YouTube channel, and then just watch the videos for learning purposes. It's all simpler. All you need is internet access and a web browser and the desire to learn. The rest, I made it easy for you. So with that in mind, let's just get started for today's session. Last session, we covered Windows 11 help, and I'm going to cover the type command today. So let's get to a slideshow here. As you can see, we discussed Windows 11 help in PDF and audio format, both of them last time. And the URL was mywebuniversity.com/Windows_11 help_PDF. That's the URL that you can bookmark, and you will see all the PDF as well as audio files for all the help commands. So you can listen to the video as well as you can read the PDF file online. It's all in a PDF format as well as audio format. So you don't have to be sitting in front of a Windows machine to just read these help commands. And then when I said made it easier, it just you need to have internet access and a browser and the desire to learn. That's all it is there. So we discussed last video practical learning Windows 11 help command, and at this URL. Today's session, we're going to discuss practical learning Windows 11 type command. The type command is a useful command if you're using command line arguments to write it in a bash script and a Python script and a PowerShell script, depending on the script that you are doing, whether it's batch scripting or Python or PowerShell scripting, you will be able to look at the content of any file. The type command is similar to cat command in Unix and Linux. Cat stands for concatenation. So when you do the type, you're just basically need to provide a argument, which is the name of the file, the path, and then the drive. Everything has to be relative to where you want to read the file from. The file has to exist on that location in order to just display it correctly. And then I'm gonna show that one today on my website, how to do it from the PDF format, as well as audio format, as well as practically show you the examples, how you can use the type command from command line, and then also compare the type command from the command line versus the GUI graphical user interface, how to use the file manager to display a file content. So the option is both in the graphical user interface to look at the content of a text file or a PDF file or anything, but as well as on the command line, you can only see type of text file. You cannot do a type on a PDF format or a data file that is, the header file is a different way that it is saved. You need a PDF reader or something like I wrote it for you. For example, these commands that are showing on the website. So I just had to write a Python program to just do that one. Let me go to the website where I have this URL that I just showed you on the PowerPoint presentation, Windows Help. This is under mywebuniversity.com. And as you can see, it is going through a secure page, HTTPS. That's Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure. That means there's a SSL certificate, and the data is in encryption mode. So you're safe to just visit the website. There's nothing. I mean, obviously, there's no transaction going on, but at the same time, you can look at the content of this PDF file, which is kind of like open for you in a very nice PDF data. You're reading it. Some user might just say, oh, wow, that is a spyware or something. That's just ridiculous. And just don't pay attention to anybody that they're telling you a PDF file is just having some kind of malicious code in there, unless it is just infected, which is sometimes going to those websites. when you go to visit a website that is like My Web University or the YouTube channel, those channels are more secure than every other website. Those are not those channels that you go and watch and then get spyware or other ones. So these channels are much cleaner than every other channel that those people claim so. So when you look at the content of this page, basically I'm giving credit to My Web University, which is my website that I wrote the Python program that generate the entire help. All of this that is in this format. Basically, if you are on a Windows command prompt, let me just show you on the command prompt. So you open a command prompt on Windows, and this interface comes in. This is the normal command prompt. It just says Microsoft version 11, but the build version is 10. So like if I do a system info, type more, and then you can see the system information. 5 more is going to give me the entire details of my system, and the operating system is Windows 11 Pro, but the build is 10. So the command prompt open, it shows the build version. Clear screen here. You can also do the CMD, it will show the same build version there. Every time you open a command prompt, it just reads the build version for you. So when I type exit, it exit out of the last command prompt that I open. If I type exit again, it's going to close that one. I'm going to have to open another one. So this is just for information. And you can also, on the command prompt, you can have option to resize this window to your needs. Whatever you want to do, just say you want to increase it this, or you could maximize it here. You could do it, and then you have also the pull down menu, so you could just have one on one side and the other one on this side. This is really a neat feature of Windows 11. So I'm introducing some more of Windows 11 as we go, so you will be familiar with it. But the objective of this video is to show you the type command. So type by itself, if I just say help type, it will just show this information. And this information is not available unless you're sitting in front of a Windows machine, like I'm just doing it. So when you're not in front of a Windows machine, I made that information writing a Python program to give you this table of contents for each command that are there. There are about 86 of them. So I just do this PDF format for you, and that is displaying the same content that was on the command line here, right here. I just parse it and display it on a web browser as a PDF file. So that is the neat part of it. And the syntax of the type command, it requires type, drive name, path name, file name, which means that whenever you do a type, if you are on the current drive, which is like, let's say C drive, then the path would be a user profile directory or some other /10, whatever the path if you want to do relative to where you are, you just need only the file name. But if you want it from a different directory, then you have to provide the full path in front of it. And that would just go, we call it physical path versus relative path. So that is the type command syntax. And then if you go back here, I'm just going to show you the type command also on audio. So this is a nice thing. I made the whole audio available for you. Disregard to what browser you're using. Microsoft Edge by itself has the read aloud options that you can do, highlight the area and then do Control-Shift plus U altogether, and then you will read it, or just highlight it and just right click and say read loud. That option is there. But a lot of the user doesn't know that those information, and they might not be using Microsoft Edge. They might be using Chrome or Firefox or another browser. So I made the whole thing available using my programming skills to just provide you this one with the type and audio format. And that's not hard. You will learn it as well. Just when you're learning command line, you learn more ways to provide the same tools that they're available for you. So like if I just refresh this window screen, you can see that display the content of it. I can also just make the size a little bit bigger and then make it bigger, sorry. So you can see that display the content of the file. And if I just right click here, if I click on the play, it's gonna read it for me.
Displays the contents of a text file or files. Type drive, path, file name.
And then here you have option to just change the playback speed and all the options that you could do. As well as if the text is really long, you can move a bit to read it from a portion of it or read it from the last part like this.
And file name.
And then you just read from where you want to read. This control is like if you want to start from the fresh, you click it there.
Displays the contents of a text file or files. Type drive, path, file name.
Okay, now you learn how to just look at the PDF file and also how to just see the audio file and listen to the audio file. But let's show you how to do it. Same file, if you did not have a command line, how would you just look at the content of a file using file manager, the GUI interface. So this is the GUI interface. So let's say I'm just gonna open it here and I'm gonna go to a particular directory. Let's say I'm gonna go to my user directory here on the PC, click on users and then go user and then the user profile that I'm logged on as Wahid. So I'm going to say, show me everything that has the extension .text here. If there's any file on the text here, it should display it. Now you can see the file manager is really nice. You can just look at it. So one of the files is help. If I double click on it, it opens it in Notepad. By default, this one is a text file, so it opens it in Notepad application. And notice that since the Notepad is in a GUI interface, the interface is really nice. I can just go up and down with a sidebar, and then I can just read the entire text, and then I have option to zoom in, like if I want to say zoom in and make it bigger size, this zoom in, the control plus, I can also do control plus here and then resize it. And then I'll control minus and decrease it. So every time you just have those options, you can just look at this one. There's more option here, and you can search for a particular string within text. So the GUI is very, very nice. A lot of the functionality that is there, they already provided to you from the GUI interface. And then you can just say, well, I read it, that's good enough. I'm going to open it in something else. So you can say also open with, and then you can open it with a Notepad and other software that is there. By default, like I said, that is a Notepad. You can open it also on other Office products that you can open. But then also you have the cut option. This is GUI that you can copy this file into rename it to something else afterward. And so you can make a copy of it and then paste it there. And then now if I right click here, the option of paste is there and so on. So I'm going to just at this time open another file. Let's say just I don't know what is inside test2. They say this is the file test2. So it is just opening the file as a test, and then command, we can just look at the file for command and say what is inside there. This is the syntax of the command file. So now I'm going to close the file manager and show you programmatically from command line what other options you have. For example, let's say a clear screen here. I'm gonna do a size bigger a little bit so you can see the screen better. Now, if I say dir of help.txt, if this file already exists, I could say more help.txt that would just do one screen at a time, or I could do clear screen, and you could say type help.txt. And then this one is gonna just go throughout, but notice this size that I have here. If I just go on the side here, this one, you can just look at the content like we were doing at the notepad. So you could do just the same thing from the GUI as well as command line. And then this option, you can just resize it here. That is big enough. I think we could just read everything. And then here you could just also use your mouse to move up and down. So type help.txt would show that one. But if you could say type help.txt and then type more. So this is two commands. One is type, the other one is help.txt is the content of it we want to display. But as a display, I want to see one screen at a time. Just type in more at it. So this one will just go one screen at a time. But you might just say, well, why don't you just do more help.txt rather than using the type command? Yes, that's a better option. And that's normally what I would do rather than running two commands. You want to be more efficient running one command, but sometimes the options are not there, or the options, or if it is there for a different purpose, you have different reasons to do something. So like, for example, let me just say, we were looking for the find command inside the file manager, for example, and then you say, well, now this is good that I just opened the file and then help.txt. Inside the help.txt, if I just search for occurrence of Windows, and then you could see that it is highlighting the windows there. And if you say go more, find more, it's gonna find as many as there are. And then this is one option, but when we get to the find command, I will just also show you, but since we are on the topic of type, clear screen type, and then we say help.txt. Now I could say find and then /I, ignore the case, and I could say Windows. So now every occurrence of Windows is there. You could also do same thing with clear screen as Windows clear screen. You can also do a find a string. That would just do the same thing. Find a string and find. I'll show you when it comes to the find command and find a string, the differences, and I will show you all the reasons why one would be preference in one case and one would be a preference in another case. And then you have options to do this one. So clearing the screen. Now, let's say I create a file command that doesn't exist. Let's say delete the help.txt. Now I have deleted the file. If I say type help.txt, it says file not found. The system cannot find it. So I have to just say help and then greater sign help.txt. Now I created it. And now if I just do this type command, it's gonna do that one, but I want to do a more so you can see one screen at a time at the same time. And that would do the find. So clearing the screen, delete help.txt. And then I'm gonna just create the help.txt on directory C:/temp. Let's say I create that directory currently does not have any help.txt. So if I say help and then greater sign C:/temp/help.txt, I just created the C:/temp directory, one more file called help.txt. And as you can see, the timestamp of that one is Saturday 9/9/2023. Date/T would also reveal the same thing, that is Saturday 9/9/23. So I'm gonna just say type C:/temp and then help.txt. At this time, because help.txt is there, if I delete help.txt on this one that doesn't exist, it could not find it. Now, if I just do this one without the relative path to where I am, the physical path that I provided earlier, that would find it. But I'm on the current directory, so it's like saying type, look at the current directory and find it. that does not exist. So in order to find a file, you have to say type C:/temp/this. You have to help it and it finds it. Now let's try the batch program to just say that, well, you learned the type command, can you write a batch program in Windows and just do the same thing that we did on the display? That's what the beauty of it is. So you can give different argument to different files. And then let's create one more file here. I'm gonna say create it relative to this one, help cmd, and then just write it to cmd.txt. So there's one file cmd.txt, and then there's another file called temp.help.txt. One of them is relative to what the directory I am. The other one is on this directory. So when you are on the file manager, you have to change directory in order to just do it. But the beauty of scripting, you could just look at whichever one by providing the path there. So let's do that right here, show you an batch scripting. I'm gonna say, let's say, notepad, I'm gonna say type1.batch. And then type1.batch, so the command.txt is on the C:/user Wahid directory. And then right here, I'm gonna say, yeah, go ahead, create a batch scripting. I'm gonna say type C:/, I'm sorry, since I'm on the current directory, I don't need to provide the path there. But if you wanna make your program portable, disregard to where the user is running your program, it's better to provide the path. So C:/user Wahid, and then cmd.txt, and then type C:/temp/help.txt. So this is just basically running the two command. And if you want your batch scripting, first of all, to look at the directory of listing of it, you could say C:/users, I think it is users, not user. Users, yeah. Users, and then Wahid. So star.txt, I want to see the content of that one, as well as I can just provide one path to this one star. Because there's not that many, I'm just on the temp directory, I'm going to show both of them in one shot. So let's just change this one to users and change that one is fine. So we save this one and then exit out of this one. I could always bring it up, but I want to show you how you could do this one. So now clear screen, type1.batch script will just, sorry, I made a typo, type1. Type1.batch script is going to just show you what is in the content of that batch script. Because we have giving an extension of batch scripting on DOS, usually if a file name is .com, it runs that one first. And if it has .exec, it runs that second. And if it has a .batch, it runs third. The name of the file, if for a .com, .batch, and .exec are the same, the .com has precedence. And if they're a different name, obviously it's going to run whatever name you provided. So in this case, if I say type1, it should just run the three scripts there. But notice that I could open up Notepad type1.batch and then just modify it a little bit, because when this one is running, I didn't see the output here. And then I could just do a pipe more on this other one also. So let me just say pipe more, and then I'm gonna do a pipe more on this one also. So that way I could just see one screen at a time. So now let's see, save. And then exit it out, and then clear screen, type1.batch. You can type in the extension or you don't have to. You could just, since it's a batch script, it runs there. So that one now it's prompting me for it. It just sees the content of it and everything. And then you can see both files are found. If I just modify notepad type1.batch, and then I don't give the full path, this one still finds it because the file exists there. And this one, it will not find it. Notice if I type in without the full path here, because I'm relative to my directory here, that's what is important here. And then I'm gonna say clear screen, type 1.batch. So notice the first command is gonna run the directory command, and then the next command is running the command.txt here. So if I just change the order, let me just change the order. The notepad type 1.batch, and then I'm gonna put the first command, this one first, so Control X, and then I'm gonna just put it in front of it. And just to make this screen a little bit bigger, I could do Shift plus, and then you can see the whole command here. This command, I can put a remark and say, don't do it, but I want to show you that it's gonna fail on that one, because this one is on the temp directory. This one is relative to that one. I could also just, okay, the dir command. So let me just move this one, Control X, and then I'm gonna move it right below this. And then that would be better, and then get rid of these spaces, and then I could say save, and then exit out. So now say clear screen here, type 1.batch, batch, and then clear screen, type 1.batch, and then you could say, if I say type 1.batch, it's gonna do the directory command. Yeah, the directory command first, but it is already fast enough to see it. Let me just do a notepad on it. The directory command, I wanted to put it last after all that thing. I don't know why I just said it and I moved it to the top. So this is what I wanted here. Save. The order is important, but also you can control it programmatically. At this time, I'm just putting it line by line so you understand the basic of it first. Type 1.batch, and then you can see that now it's going to run the type 1.batch. So if I just say type 1 here, it is going to run the start this one. Then after this one, it should say the other command does not exist. That's specified there. We're still on the command output. And then somewhere here, the system with this one says cannot find the help.txt because it is not there. And then now run the dir command, and here's the output of it. Okay, so in order to see the help.txt, then I have to, like, since I'm in the here, I only can get that one if I just say type C:/temp help.txt and then read the content of it. So in order to help fix the script here, type 1.batch, then you have to provide a proper path to say where to find that file. And that's correcting it. And this time when we run this script here, again, clear screen, type 1.batch, and then it's gonna do the command prompt first, and then it's gonna just display the help also, and this is the help. And then notice that if I just create another command, like type, let's say echo, this is a test. And then I'm going to just say test.txt. Now type test.txt. I just created that file and then I put that one. If I don't put this double string, the echo command automatically puts it in the format that I want, and then type test.txt is going to do that. So if I say, just say something like clear screen and type test.txt, I wrote that one, and then I'm going to say echo. This is a second line. And then just write it double graded sign, test.txt, now type test.txt, it concatenated with this double greater sign, it created the file with the new line. But if I just say this is a third line, let's say this is a third line, that would also work as long as I have the double greater sign, which means concatenated. Sorry, I missed the typo. So I'm going to delete test.txt, and then that file, but the type test.txt now has the 3 lines. Notice that if I just do the same thing with test.t and use only 1 line, now the third line will be added, but it removes the other 2 lines, first line and second line. So it overwrite the file with type test.txt. It only added 1 line because of this greater sign means overwrite the file if it exists. If it doesn't exist, it will create it. And if this one, it will just create it if it doesn't exist. But it will not override it. It will append the line to the end of it. So you learn that one also at the same time with the type command. I hope you learn enough from it. Now I'm going to show you another technique that you could do with Python scripting to just do the same thing with the operating system command line running operating system. So let's say you're running Python, and first you need to install Python, and if you have not done, just install Python from python.org, and then the binary comes at 64-bit, 32-bit, depending on yours. You watch my other videos if you haven't done so, and then I'll show you how to install Python. But once you install Python, a Python dash version is there. You could also type in Python. It will just go to the version that you have with on your system, which I have 3.10.11. So here, the important thing is that you can use OS module. So currently, I don't have an OS module. As you can see, when I do a dir listing, I can do import and then OS. Now I have the OS module also loaded here. And then inside the OS module, there's a lot of methods that you can do. One of the methods that I'm going to show you is the system, and another one process open. So let's do first with this system. Here, as you can see, this list is a lot of methods, a lot of attributes and properties and other stuff. So I'm going to just show you how to clear the screen using os.system. You just type in os.system and clear screen. Clear screen is the Windows CLS command for Windows 11 and Windows 10 and every other Windows. You can type in CLS, that will clear the screen. So when you do os.system, it uses the method system. There's one of the methods over here is system. So and the other one is process open that I'm going to show you this. So let's look at the clear screen first. And now I clear the screen here. So if I just say, instead of this, I could say, do a directory here, it will run the directory command. And then again, clear a screen here. If I just say, just give me the directory star.txt, all the files that are .txt. And now I have the full command and test. So then I can just say, use the type command to look at the cmd.txt. And notice the cmd.txt is a lot. So on this one, I still have to do the 5 more command. So one screen at a time, it could happen. Okay. So another thing that you could do is that within the OS, you can do a number of other commands, as well as, let's say I'm going to clear the screen here. You could say, do a dir of os.system. And then this one will just tell you within the system method what other options you have here. And similarly for the process open, popen. So I'm going to show you programmatically if you have to read more than one file or create another file. Let's just create a couple of small files. I'm gonna create here, say os.system, and then say help, and then first I'm going to get a volume, which is generate the volume command, and then I'm gonna send it to vol.text, and then just close it, and that run this one. But notice that I get a 1. That means this command for some reason did not run successfully. If I just say run the volume command by itself, the volume command itself is going to give me the volume on the drive. If I say give me the version information itself, it's going to give me the version. And notice that the status is 0, meaning that it runs successful. This one, for some reason, because of this greater sign, it did not run correctly. So I'm going to just have to do this one a different way to see that if I say run the command dir store.txt, notice that all the files are there, and the volume is actually created also. So even though the status was 1, if I just look at it, vol.txt, it already created. So I can say, let me see the content of it. And it did display the disk volume. It did create it correctly. But notice that this greater sign symbol, somehow it created that 1. And that is saying that somehow that information, even though it created the status of the OS system, return a 1. Similarly for this one. So now for the var, if I look at this one, the var is also there. So if I look at the content of that one, type var.text, you can see that is also there. But now let's just do a group of them with a couple of different ways to look at this volume command and the other one. Okay, so and then also the type command. So I'm gonna just say first clear my screen here, clear screen here, and then I'm gonna just say, let's say commands. I'm gonna create a list here. I'm gonna create a list and say, what is the list? I'm gonna run the command type, and then vol.text, and then I'm gonna say type var.text. Actually, after that one, I want to say vol the output. So once I understand the command, I'm going to use it, and then say type var.text, and then now let's do a var command to see the version information. So those 4 commands are just the list. So if I just say commands here, it will just tell me I have a list. Type of commands, I'm showing you Python as well right here, but it's good to learn scripting in both Windows and Unix. So I'm showing you on Windows right now. I have done a lot on Unix, on Python. Watch my other videos on Python scripting for NumPy and other stuff. So there's a lot of stuff there. Here I'm going to run this command. So if I just say import OS and then say for CMD and commands, and then say print, just say this is the command, that would just print those list of the commands. But if I want to actually execute it, I say for CMD and commands, then I say operating system dot method system and then run the command here, and then that would just execute the command. So here I say for command and commands, the first command was type command. So this is the type volume was the command. It shows there. Then the next command was vol command on the drive. It just gave you the output. The third command was display the content of var.text that displayed it, and then there. So you can see this was first command, second command, third command, and fourth command, and this is the output of the fourth, and so on. So you can do that one, but let's do this one another way, because if I just don't want to see the zeros status on it, and then I have to use the process open, pipe open. So os.system, let's clear the screen again. I'm gonna say type of commands. This is a list, right? So I could just say for CMD and commands, I'm gonna just say for CMD and commands. At this time, I'm going to do one more thing, and that is saying a stream. I'm gonna open a stream. I'm gonna say os.process open or pipe open. I'm gonna just open the command. Whatever the command is there, then I'm going to do it. Then I'm going to put it into an output, and then say a stream method stream string dot read. So I'm going to read from each of the stream output, and then I'm going to print out the output. That would just do one command at a time. And then at the same time, you're not controlled by the getting those zeros status of it. So you can see it worked all of them successfully. And then I'm going to also show you one more method of using, like, for example, interactive Python or IPython, doing same thing with OS commands that you can run. So let's just say Jupyter Lab. Let's see if I Jupyter-Lab. If Jupyter Lab is installed, you will have the. If it is not installed, you have to install it. So I don't think I have installed it here. Okay, I might have installed it. It's just telling me what browser you want to open it. Yes, I do have installed it. So in order to run Jupyter Lab, the first time that you install it on Windows, you just say pip install space Jupyter Lab, and then when you actually run the binary, it's called Jupyter-Lab. That's why, and it opens at localhost port 8888 and this one. So now I have Jupyter Lab working here. This is a previous commands that you could run. I'm going to close this one to just show you what Jupyter Lab has. So under the notepad here, you have a Python interpreter that you can run, Python 3 kernel, and then you have also terminals and text files and so on. So any of these ones, like for example, if you go to the terminal, you have a PowerShell command here. So some of the PowerShell command, like get-process, will work here. That's PowerShell. But at the same time, some of the docs command directly of store.txt will also work, or get dash items would also work. So depend on those ones. Elias, like for example, there you could see that Elias get child item is another command for it. So get dash child item, you could get that one, and you could say aliases. Alias, you will get all the alias here, and that are in there. But that's PowerShell. So inside the PowerShell, since we have this command called var.txt, we could look at it and we could say type var.txt here. So the type also work type volume.txt. So type help.txt. Any file that is there, it will find it. Since the help.txt doesn't exist, I'm going to create it by typing help, > help.txt. Now that file got created, the type will work. And then I have to do a pipe more to see on the details of it, because at the end was all blank. So that is within the PowerShell. But if you just want to do it programmatically from the Jupyter Lab, Python PyCharm kernel, not PyCharm, Python kernel, then you just are getting a cell here, and then here you have option of running aliases to say just give me all the alias. It will just do it, and type might be one of the command here. It is there. You could just assign an alias for it also to do it, but you don't need to have that one. You could just say import OS, again similar to the way you do that in Python, os.system, and then run that type var.text. And then this one you just run there, and that would display the content of it. But notice this one, it just says 0, meaning the command succeeded, but where's the output? In order to get the output, you have to do a print statement here to say, go ahead, call that one inside the print statement, and then run it. And notice that when you run this one, it still does not do this one. So I'm going to use the popen, because this one is just giving a status of 0, meaning successfully. So let's just do the process open. I'm going to say stream, as like we did the other one, the stream is equal, and then we say os.popen. I'm going to say type var.text. That's the command, and then here we're gonna say output is equal os stream dot read, and then say print output. And then this time I should work with the output here and there. And then if I just want to say just run the command with more information, obviously I have to just say just create the commands similar to the way we created a list there. You could just duplicate that list by saying type var.text, and then run var command, and then type volume.text, run the volume command. See how easy it becomes programmatically. You could do for thousands of files within a for statement or if statement. You could run more commands. So like if I just want to run also the host name information here to just get the host name, and then also open a calculator command, I'm going to do all those commands as well. So let's just say at this time I have to say a for statement. So say for command for CMD and commands, and then this one you can just do this kind of listing saying that everything included, or you could omit it and that is assumed there. So here I could just say do these commands, but notice that when you do the separation of code, you have to just do it for spaces. So I'm going to just do that, and then that is now okay, and we could run this one. So now notice that they say display the Windows version, but the output is there, and then the version command, and then the volume and everything. So there's something here that is not showing. Let's see what happened with the rest of the commands. So oh, because here I just only run the first command. So there's sometimes when you just leave off something, you just have to correct it, because we want to run all of the command, not just one command. So earlier example, I showed you the type var.text. Now you're passing dynamically each command there within the for statement. So that's why you will see the output for one, but not the other one. Now the calculator here, it opens. So I could just close the calculator and then see the output of the rest of them here also. And then the host name is algorithm, and then the timestamp for the date command. If I did that one, it also showed the date command. I did not do the date command, So instead of running these commands, let's just run a couple of other commands. Say date/t. We did the type enough, so I'm gonna do one more command, date/t, and then let's just open up Notepad with ver.txt. So while we're doing that one, we want to run the date command, the host name, the calc, and Notepad, and then we want to say Notepad help.txt. I created earlier, so it is there. So I'm going to run this one. Now notice this is the verb. It opens it. I'm going to close that one, and then now help.txt shows up. And so programmatically, you could do type and a calculator and everything. And this video, I'm showed you a number of other things aside from it, because it's all the purpose of my job is to just help you learn to get better at your school, at your job, and everything, so you can do better in your communities. God bless you all, and please subscribe if you haven't subscribed, so you will be notified with all the videos. Subscription is free, and then you can just get all these videos online and then learn it without going to college or without paying expensive tuition. You can learn it all for free. Take care. Have fun. Bye bye.